The most financially dangerous generation in American history has the best-looking lives on the internet. Sit with that for 1 second. Not the most reckless, not the most careless, the most financially dangerous, and they're out here looking absolutely unreal while it's happening. The fits, the cars, the hotel rooms, the just landed in Miami story posted at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. Like that's just a normal thing that happens when you're 24 and making $44,000 a year. And here's what actually gets me. It's not fake in the way people think it's fake. The clothes are real. The trip happened. The car is genuinely sitting in the driveway. It's just that nobody is showing you the other screen. The Afterpay dashboard with 4 things running at once. The credit card balance sitting at $3,200 for 5 months straight, because the minimum payment covers the interest and moves the principal by almost nothing. The checking account at $140 on a Wednesday with payday 2 days away, and that mental math starting up again. Okay, if I skip dinner out tonight, I can probably make it. That part never makes the post. And that gap between what goes up on the feed and what is actually happening underneath is not a social media problem. It is a financial emergency playing out silently across an entire generation. It looks nothing like an emergency from the outside. That is exactly what makes it dangerous. If you are anywhere between 20 and 30 right now, this video is about your life. Even if you're sitting there completely convinced it isn't. Let's talk about buy now, pay later, because most people don't actually understand what it is. It is not a payment tool. It is a psychology tool. Those are completely different things. And the difference is costing people thousands of dollars a year. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm. These were not built by people who wanted to help you afford things. They were built by people who understood one very specific thing about the human brain, that it feels present costs and future costs completely differently. Money leaving your account right now feels real. Money leaving your account in 6 weeks feels like almost nothing. So when something costs $280, your brain hesitates. That hesitation is not a flaw. That is your brain doing exactly what it's supposed to do, asking the question it's supposed to ask. Do I actually have this? And Afterpay walks in and says, relax. 4 payments of $70, first one today, the rest later. The hesitation disappears because $70 feels like nothing. Your brain files it under handled and moves on. Except you did that in January, and February, and March. And now it's April, and there are 6 things running on payment plans, and 2 of them you genuinely cannot remember what they were for. Total sitting at $840, every single one felt like nothing in the moment. That is not carelessness. That is the product working at full efficiency on you by design. If you're finding this helpful so far, and I think you are, hit subscribe right now because what's coming next is the part of this conversation that nobody is actually having. Buy now, pay later is just the door. What's behind it is a much bigger machine. You know that feeling after 3 minutes of scrolling Instagram or TikTok where you somehow feel worse than when you opened the app, like everyone your age found a version of life that's just slightly ahead of yours. Better apartment, better weekends, better everything. Like there's a whole lane of being young in America that everyone else has access to and you're still looking for the entrance. That feeling is not an accident. That feeling is the engine that runs the entire system. Your brain was built to compare itself to around 150 people, your actual circle, people whose real lives you can see, the bad days, the boring nights, the moments where things didn't go right. Comparison at that scale is manageable. Now multiply that by 400 million strangers. Strip out every ordinary moment, every bad day, every Wednesday night eating leftovers alone. Replace all of it with the absolute peak, filtered, scored, captioned, optimized to hit as hard as possible. Your brain receives that as reality. It cannot flag it as performance. It just processes it as evidence. This is what people my age are doing. This is where the bar is, and I am below it. And then the oldest human instinct kicks in, the terror of being left behind. And the fastest way to quiet it is to buy something. A new fit, a dinner out, a weekend that becomes content. For a few hours, the gap closes. You feel like you're in the game until the notification hits and the gap reopens, a little wider than before. That loop, manufactured inadequacy feeding straight into frictionless spending, is worth billions of dollars every year to the people who built it. Your discomfort is their business model. Your feeling of being behind is the product they are selling back to you at 21% interest. Here is something about credit cards that will change how you see them permanently. The rewards are not a benefit. The rewards are the pitch. Cashback, points, miles, free hotel nights. The entire language of credit card marketing exists to put you in the identity of the smart person, the one who figured out the system, the one extracting value instead of being extracted from. And for a very small group of people, the ones who pay the complete balance every single month without exception, that is technically true. Credit card companies call those people deadbeats internally because they don't make money off them. The real customer is the person carrying a balance, and the average credit card interest rate in America right now is above 21%. On $2,500 in debt making minimum payments, you will be inside that debt for years and pay back dramatically more than you borrowed. The whole time the card swipes perfectly fine. At Chipotle, on the Shane app at 1 a.m., on DoorDash at midnight. No friction, no warning, not a single moment where anything feels wrong. The debt is invisible at the point of spending. That invisibility is not a glitch. It is the entire design. Here is the part most people skip because it doesn't feel urgent yet. It should. The real cost of this trap is not the debt. The debt is bad. But the debt is not what will actually reshape your life. What reshapes your life is what you are not doing while you are managing it. Compound interest is the most powerful wealth-building force that exists. Small amounts invested consistently in your early 20s become something almost unrecognizable 30 years later. Let me show you two people, and I need you to be honest about which one you recognize. Same city, same salary, same age out of college, identical starting point. Person 1 lives the way the culture says you should at 24 financed car, because the monthly payment seemed fine. Credit card for the rewards. Afterpay for the wardrobe. DoorDash most nights because cooking feels like giving up. Posts everything, gets the validation, genuinely feels most of the time like they're living. At 29, they have a credit score that needs work, a car they still don't own, a balance that never quite zeroes out, and a financial anxiety so constant and familiar, they stopped registering it as anxiety. It just feels like how life is now. Person 2 is almost invisible, paid-off used car. Cooks most nights, doesn't really post, puts a few $100s away every month without making it a personality. From the outside, they look like someone still figuring things out. At 35, they have a down payment. At 40, they have something money cannot buy after a certain point. Actual options. The ability to leave something that isn't working without it destroying them financially. The ability to handle what goes wrong. And something always goes wrong, without it becoming a catastrophe. Same start. Completely different games. And at 24, you cannot see the difference from the outside. One of them just has a better feed and a newer car. That's it. The gap is invisible for years. Then one day, it becomes the only thing that matters. If this video made you think about your own situation differently, like it, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Next week, I'm going through exactly how to start getting out of this trap step by step, even if you're already in debt. You don't want to miss it.